and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the tools that are used to apply makeup so that you get that airbrushed flawless look. This is all about the essentials of makeup application. You'll see in my upcoming videos that these are the tools that I reach for the most to get that perfect look. We're going to talk about brushes, sponges, the perfect base, and even makeup wipes. So if this is something you're interested in, just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is nothing other than your makeup wipe. Now this seems like something silly, but it is great to have these around when you're applying makeup in case you do mess up. I love these Neutrogena brand because they're very cheap and I love the smell of these, and I find that they don't break me out. Now I don't have very sensitive skin, so just keep that in mind. What works for me might not work for you. But these are great to have around in case you have those little uh-oh moments that you need to get rid of. This is also great to have to kind of clean up around your eyes when you're doing eyeshadow, to even help sharpen your wing liner. Next, we're going to talk about perfecting your base, and I'm going to talk about primers. Primers help even out your skin tone, they help blur fine lines and wrinkles, and they even help make your pores look smaller. There are several different kinds of primers on the market. I'm going to talk about a few of them here today, but just know that if you have a great primer, whatever foundation you use will look awesome. It can be drugstore foundation or it could even be high-end foundation, but to have that great flawless look to your skin, you want a great primer. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Primer Water by Smashbox. This is something you just spray on your face. You can feel it get a little bit tacky, and that really helps the foundation stick to your face. It helps stay for an all-day hold and also helps you have an even finish when you're done as well. So I love this kind of primer. It's very easy. You can just spray it on. You don't have to get your fingers dirty, and it's a great one to use. One of my favorite drugstore primers is the Maybelline Master Prime. It is a white primer that goes on, and as you can see, it helps blur out that skin and gives you a nice even texture to apply your makeup, and it's only a few dollars at the drugstore. I like the Too Faced Hangover as well. This is a primer that has coconut water in it, so it actually acts as a moisturizer and a primer, so it's 2-in-1. It smells like coconuts. It's a great primer. Then there's Benefit's Porefessional. Now this one really helps those that have large pores, especially around the nose and the cheeks. You just want a very small amount of primer when you use it. You want to pat it into the skin. You don't have to have a name brand primer. You can use one from the drugstore, but basically this is just going to help your makeup apply smoothly. It helps make it last a lot longer. Now we can talk about primer for the eyes. This is very important because if you use eyeshadow from the drugstore, then you can make it turn into like a MAC eyeshadow with eyeshadow primer. It's a wonderful thing. This helps cut down the creasing on your eyes. It helps even out the skin tone. It helps take out redness. One of my favorite eye primers is Too Faced Shadow Insurance. They make a really great ones. This one's just the basic one. This helps your eyeshadow stick and stay all day. You can literally choose any kind of cheap eyeshadow that you want, and it helps turn it into a very long lasting one. Next, we're going to talk about facial sprays. Facial sprays are seriously magic, okay? We talked about it a little bit in my last video, but basically what a facial spray can do is it's gonna melt and marry all that makeup and powder together on your face. It essentially takes away cakiness and any kind of powder that's just sitting on your face. It helps kind of moisturize everything in together. Two of my favorites are the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray, and the MAC Fix Plus Spray is also a great one. These aren't necessarily going to make your makeup last longer, but it is going to help everything blend in to give you that flawless look. There are makeup sprays on the market. Urban Decay has a couple of them that help set your makeup, and this can help make it last all day as well. We're going to talk about makeup brushes. I'm going to go over some of my favorite ones that I love to use, and also some that are helpful in helping your application of makeup go on effortlessly and flawlessly. I do want to put a disclaimer that you don't have to go out and purchase all these brushes, but I will talk about the ones that are essential in a great makeup application. We're going to go over different brands and different prices of the brushes. You don't have to get the most expensive ones. You do kind of get your money's worth though in the expensive ones, so keep that in mind. The first thing I want to talk about actually isn't a brush. Say hello to my little friend, the Beauty Blender. This little guy seriously makes makeup application so much easier. I remember buying this sponge and being like, I can't believe I'm paying $20 for a sponge right now. But let me tell you, it was the best $20 I've ever spent. And this is like my 6th or 7th one. What you want to do with this is hold it under running water, squeeze it out a couple of times, and then squeeze it in a towel a couple of times. So you do want to use it damp. And this just helps all foundation products go on so effortlessly and just helps really give an airbrush look. You just kind of want to pat everything into the skin. This can also be used for powders as well to help give you a great smooth look to the powders. It's just one of my favorite tools of makeup. I really couldn't do my makeup without this tool. A great thing about this is you can make it last a lot longer if you purchase the cleaner with it as well. This helps clean all the makeup and bacteria out of it. It's a great cleaner. You can also use this to clean your makeup brushes as well. This really helps your beauty blender last a lot longer, and you won't have to purchase them so often if you clean them with the cleaner. I mean, he's my best friend when it comes to makeup. I love him. Now let's get into the actual brushes. So the first brush that I'm going to talk about is by a brand called Real Techniques, and it is their powder brush. These Real Technique brushes can be purchased at Ulta, and I think even some drugstores carry them now. They're not too pricey, and they're a very good quality brush. Real Techniques make some of my favorite face brushes for sure. And so this is the powder brush. I also have their blush brush, which is great for getting into those cheekbones. I also have a foundation brush by them. This is the Expert Face Brush. Now, if you purchase the Beauty Blender, you don't have to put your foundation on with a brush. This is just another option for those of you out there. Usually, if you put your foundation on with a brush, you get a fuller coverage than you do with the sponge. So that's just something to keep in mind, but it's not something that you have to have. They also make my favorite stippling brush. This is something that I used in the last video, and it really helps blend everything out. It really helps get rid of those harsh lines. Those are kind of the essential face brushes that I like to use. These brushes I purchased by Real Techniques as well, and they came in a set. You don't have to have these brushes to do your everyday makeup. This is if you want to really get into the contouring and highlighting. This one is a sculpting brush, and you can really get into your cheekbones with this and help blend everything out with this one. This one is a setting brush, so you can also use this for highlighters. You can use it to set powder underneath your eyes or down your nose. And then this is, of course, a fan brush. Again, can be used to wipe off excess powder or to set some highlighters on your face as well. So that's a great set. Okay, the next brand of brushes I want to talk about is Sigma Beauty brushes. These brushes can be purchased online. They are a little bit pricey, but I can tell you I've had these brushes now for 4 years and they're still going strong. So it was worth the investment for me. I will say, if you don't purchase the Sigma brushes, try to find something similar. Makeup Geek brushes, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, have a lot of very similar brushes to Sigma brushes, so that's another option for you as well. But to just go over my favorite one, this is the F35. It's a tapered highlighter brush. I love to use this underneath my eyes to set my banana powder. It's something I use almost every single day to kind of go down my nose, set underneath my eyes, kind of in that T-zone of my face. This is what I set my powder with. The difference between using a tapered powder brush and then the big fluffy one is this really gets into the fine lines and make sure everything sets nicely in there, where this I can't quite get, you know, into those areas of my face. Again, from Sigma, this is the Precision Angled Brush. The number is P84, and this is what I use to contour down my nose. Now, you don't have to have this brush to contour. You can actually use your pinkies to contour down your nose, and either one would work great. I'm going to talk about my two favorite brushes of life now. They're both by Sigma, and they're both eyeshadow brushes. This first one here is the E40. It's a tapered blending brush, and this is something that really helps eyeshadow application go on very smoothly and blend very well as well. This is the E25 from Sigma. This helps me really get into the crease of where I want more color packed on. This one's a little bit more condensed than the big one that I showed you, and so it helps the color go on a little bit darker. Again, great to use to get into those crease areas. And the last brush I have from Sigma is the small angled brush. It is the E65, and I use this for eyeliner, and I can also use this for powdered eyeliner, meaning I'll go into an eyeshadow of whatever color I want and use this to line my eyes with that. I do have a few of Makeup Geek's brushes here. As I mentioned earlier, these brushes are great. Makeup Geek is a YouTuber who started on YouTube, and now she has her own company, and so it's really awesome to support her. But the thing I love most about Makeup Geek is she's very reasonably priced. So these are a couple eyeshadow brushes that I got from her that I love. They can really help get into the creases there and help with the details of the eyes. That is something you want to remember when we're talking about eyeshadow brushes, is the smaller the brush, the more detailed you can get with it. The bigger the brush, the better at blending it will be. You'll see in tutorials to come how I use these different brushes, but these are some of my favorites. I have the stiff dome brush, I have the small crease brush, and I have the soft dome brush. All great for the eyes. When I first started doing makeup, I used a lot of e.l.f. brushes. They're from Target and they're very, very cheap. And they're great brushes for the price. I do still use these two on a daily basis. I think they run about $3. This is just great for the eyebrows, and this is great for applying eyeshadow to the lids of my eye. I also use this brush to get right up underneath the crease of my eyebrow. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the brush that I use to do my eyebrows, and I will show you guys how to do that in another tutorial, but I just used an angled brush like this, and I actually use a brown eyeshadow that's matte, that's very similar to the color of my hair to fill in my eyebrows, but I love this angled brush because I can get right in the beginning of my eyebrow, I can fix the, nice arch on my eyebrow and still go down, and it's a great brush that really gets into it. Any angled brush will work, you don't have to have this specific one. I think this one is from Eco Tools. This brush I don't have a name for. I think it came in a set that I got a while ago, but it's a big fluffy angled brush, and I love this brush because I can get into the hollows of my cheeks to apply my bronzer for my contour, and it's just something that's big and not as small as the definer one. This one is going to be a little bit more precise with your contour, where this one is just going to be, not so sharp. So this is great for contouring. Alright guys, well that sums up my brush tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, no, you don't have to go out and buy all these brushes for a great application of makeup, but they are what I use in my videos, so I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time. I'm also going to link a description box below of all the brushes and where I got them from and things like that, so that you can find more information on them. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in another tutorial. Bye guys!